This podcast was produced by Sean Weston Media.
I was thinking that you and I could brainstorm some new ideas for future episodes. And then it dawned on me that perhaps we should have an episode about brainstorming, which is a little bit of cheating, I suppose.
Some creative thinking from you there.
Well, I was brainstorming on my own, which apparently is a thing.
Yeah, I think it's a thing.
It's definitely a thing. I mean, brainstorming has become a thing, I suppose, as well, because a lot more of us are on our own.
This is true. Yeah, we're not going to have impromptu brainstorms in the office at the moment, are we?
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I'm going to go with good thing because I like working from home. Maybe that's not a very balanced argument, though.
So I read a little bit about brainstorming because, I like to prep. There's this chap, and he says that research shows people come up with more and better ideas when they are alone.
Okay.
Now, there's got to be reasons for that. And the first one I can think of is there's no pressure to follow the group.
Yeah.
So I guess we get into that sometimes, don't we? When we're in a room and you've got your extroverts and your introverts in that room, and then you've got your more experienced people and your less experienced people, and some tend to dominate, don't they?
Yeah, so it becomes this whole group think idea that strong person is in control, has the ideas, organises the brainstorm, gets what they want out of it, and has some sort of validation for themselves, for their own ideas.
So you mean everyone kind of goes along with it for peace and
Maybe.
a peaceful life?
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's that sort of just that dominating thing. So if you were on your own and you were just trying to come up with stuff, you might maybe push your own mind a little bit further, because when you have a lot of people in a room, it can become quite disorganised, can't it? People can break off into side conversations. You can just get stuck in one idea and maybe run with that for too long. I think when you're on your own, you don't babble as much to yourself, do you?
No, I suppose not. And then there are ideas that don't get heard often in a large group.
That's very true.
Yeah. Are we saying that those ideas that are not often heard in a group situation are more heard these days? This guy that I read about, the research, he suggested that something be called a brain right, where you actually all go away and come back together with your ideas rather than that impromptu sort of...
We must come up with an idea right now, right here. I think that's nice, especially working at distance. It's tough to have your say on a video conference call, isn't it? Where you have to put your little digital hand up or get ready to speak. So yeah, maybe that is a nicer way of doing it, to actually all take the challenge separately and then come back together with it.
Oh, well, we used to do that. A company that I used to work for, when we organised a meeting, you actually weren't... You were expected to come to the meeting armed.
Prepared.
Yeah.
I mean, you should go to every meeting.
You should go to every meeting
but I
prepared.
don't think many people do.
But there was an expectation with this company that, we'd like you to bring something to the meeting. This isn't the meeting for the hell of it.
That's nice.
Yeah, and I really liked that because it helped get your mind in the game.
And I know you don't like a meeting for meeting's sake. So.
I hate a meeting for meeting's sake. I think they're a waste of time. But if you've got... Do you know what else it did to that meeting? It shortened it. Yeah. And you all went away knowing...
You would spend that extra time thinking about something.
Yes, yeah, exactly, yeah.
But I suppose one good way where a brainstorm with groups of people has over an individual would be your own biases or your own... Let someone challenge your ideas. I think if you just stuck to coming up with things yourself, you might come up with the same things that you were coming up with, or you think that one thing's great and actually you've not considered some of the things that, your brain just doesn't work in that way.
Which is why a brainstorm is actually good, whether you're alone or not.
Yeah.
Because you're still coming back and having it not necessarily approved, but run it by other people. Challenged. That's the best word. Thank you for that. So how do comms teams, are they any good at brainstorming?
I think so, because I think you get lots of these challenges every day. And I think sometimes it's really nice to talk them through with other people. But at the same time, having that time to yourself to think things through certainly works for me. So I liked your idea earlier of the going away, coming back together.
Yeah.
But I think it's always positive if you've got a supportive team to work with that are also challenging.
Yeah.
So they're not just, yes, that's the right thing to do. I think having that mixture between support and challenge is really good. So that's where a brainstorm could work quite well.
Do you think it's a good idea, say you're having a comms brainstorm, for some new ideas. Do you think it's a good idea to actually have someone from a completely different department come in and challenge those?
Yeah, absolutely. I think when you...
Have you done that?
Yeah, I have. I've been involved in lots of these things where you try and get someone from all different parts of your organisation to come together to do it, opposed to similar-minded people from the same background. I think that diversity of opinion or perspective is a really big draw for making those more successful.
So what effect do you think the dreaded pandemic has had on people's ability to actually brainstorm? Because I guess some people are used to having a certain way. Say you all get in that room, in that office, and you all brainstorm, and then suddenly you're at home surrounded by children, dogs, distractions, and someone says, we're going to have a brainstorm. I guess that was a real challenge for people to be able to adapt to a different way of coming up with ideas.
Yeah, but maybe, like you said, it's maybe the refreshing thing people need, because we get into habits, don't we? So if you're an organisation or a team that does lots of brainstorming, I'm doing air quotes here with my other hand.
I like the air quotes.
If you're used to doing it a certain way, this change in circumstance, environment could actually make you more creative. I wonder how many people have found themselves to be more creative now that they've removed a lot of the distractions they had in the office.
And reinvented a different way of brainstorming.
Yeah. I mean, also, if you've got a 5-year-old, maybe they'd have a better idea of how to solve your issue.
They should have do you remember that clip of the 5-year-old coming into the background?
Oh yeah,
on
that
TV?
gets dragged off.
Yeah. Perhaps they had the best ideas, they just couldn't articulate it.
Maybe they were hearing the conversation outside, came in with a fabulous idea, thought, I should interrupt this. I know he's on the BBC News. I'm going to interrupt anyway, because I've got a fabulous idea. And then I get dragged out.
By their ankles.
By their ankles.
Great TV.